Another day, another video, and today I will show you the time lapse of this piece that I recently made. And I'm pretty happy with how it turned out actually. It's really vibrant and the colors are amazing. And it is the second work that I made using the fluid acrylics that I bought recently. And I showed it in my last video. And today I will talk you through my process while showing the time lapse, and I will tell you a little bit about what went on in my brain when I was creating it. So I hope you like it. Enjoy. Bye bye. So today I am using quite some materials, I think, and in this first layer we are using colored pencils, like I did in my last video as well, because I actually liked the start with it. And not necessarily that you actually see this in the end, but it's a good way to start and to get something on your paper. The main thing that I had in mind for today's session, well, two things actually. So one, I really wanted to use my acrylic fluid paints again for the second time. And the theme today would be warm versus cool. And that would mean fiery colors, warm colors, yellow, orange, red colors against blue. And my blue Posca would be an amazing fit for this, so I'm going to use those. And the nice thing about acrylic fluid paints is that the colors match with the vibrancy of my Posca markers. So they are a really good match to use together in a work. And here you already see in the first layer how I am looking for the contrast between cool and warm and adding this lovely blue little marks. Another thing today is actually that I really want to go all out. I didn't want to hold back. I didn't want to overthink any of my decisions. And I want a piece that speaks and that, well, maybe that even screams, so I need some high contrast. And that's also because I remember from my last session with these fluid acrylics that the black is really dark, and I really, really love that contrast with those colors. So that's also why I'm already including it in my work so early on. I don't always do that. Sometimes I keep it like for last as an option to go even more darker if the work asks for it. But today I want to go all out, and in each layer I want to search for the biggest contrast possible. But also to not overwhelm myself immediately with all these types of colors and all these marks. I'm also adding some gray to give a little bit of a neutral vibe to some of the areas in my painting. And well, this phase is just actually about getting marks on there and giving some kind of atmosphere, and by just going and doing so. If there is one thing that my hand wants to do, then I just immediately follow it. And sometimes that means that you make a very good decision, that it looks amazing, and sometimes it means that you overwork your piece. And in one of my earlier videos, I actually talked about how overworking your piece is part of this whole process. Today I did it with the white, and it was also pretty early on in the process that I didn't like my painting anymore. But it is also trusting that you can get yourself out of that again, and that you can bring back the painting to something that you love. So, well, the I know that I said the theme of today was gonna be cool versus warm, but you could also call it Lena is impatient. Because I did not wait for anything to dry, and even my acrylic paints couldn't match up with how impatient I was. And I actually ended up, with these, as you can see here, with these grays that were mixing on my paper, and that's not something that I normally like. if I want gray in it, then I will just mix it on my palette, and I don't do it on my paper like this. I don't know why, but it just it's not one of my preferences. But here I knew it was happening, and I kept going anyway, because I told myself not to think. And I, with every little mistake that I made, I thought, okay, I can fix this. There is gonna be a point where I can fix it again. I'm just gonna go today. Adding some colors back again, and the yellow. And also here I was not the most patient lady on this planet, so I almost ruined my yellow Posca. Very happy with that. Well, it's okay, but I wasn't. I was happy when I was painting it. I was just so happy that I could paint and that I could use these new paints that I bought again. That I just wanted to do it all, and I painted today as if I had 8 hats. And sometimes, um, well, that just means that you're impatient, and that just means that you really want to like keep going, and that's also fine. I just gave into it, and yeah, I was also just curious to see where this would end up, because it took a long time before I actually like reached a phase where I thought, oh, now I kind of like it. And that started around here when I was adding my blue Posca. And yeah, somehow when I add that blue, that always works for me. The blue is my favorite color. Blue and yellow is my favorite color combination. And yeah, it will always amaze me how well they work together. And as you can see here, yes, I also I'm also watching. I can also see it. I'm still very impatient, and this blue is not too vibrant at this moment because the layer underneath is not that dry yet. But I'm going over it, as you can see, and I'm solving it. Yeah. The only thing that is now happening is it is still quite busy on this painting. Another thing that is happening is that the it's more like a cool painting now. There are more cooler tones. That's also because the yellow turns a little bit green because the black and the other colors are underneath. So I'm adding a little bit more red to bring out this cool versus warm theme again, because the red and the orange got a little bit lost in the process, and I am bringing them back, and I'm adding some details. Oh, there's my face. Yeah, I was standing up, so that also that also means something. Oh, this was a good session though. I really enjoyed it. The only thing that's now happening is that there is a lot happening, and I'm even adding more. Like I'm adding more tiny white dots, and our whole kitchen table was covered in it, and even my glasses were. But yeah, I need to bring this back somehow, and I'm gonna do that by bringing more black into the foreground, because I mean, who doesn't want to put these amazing opaque brush strokes in their work? This feels so good even to watch. It's so dark, and it brings back the whole thing, brings it back together, and it calms it down as well, because a lot is happening, and some of the black that was already in there got faded away a little bit. So and I'm bringing it more to the foreground, and calming it down a bit by adding bigger shapes, which is a thing that I do if it is overwhelming, and if too much is happening, then we just go over some of the parts that I may truly like. But if it's too much, it's too much, and our eyes also need like places to rest in a painting, I think. And well, here's the piece with Eska and the piece without Eska. I hope you liked it, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.